This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making mid five figures or six figures or even more share their wisdom. It's 6 questions in 9 minutes because transforming possibility leads right to reality. So let's get to it. Question number 1. Jake, in a few sentences, tell me who you are and what you do.
Sounds great. I'm Jake Ballentine, and who I am, first and foremost, is a husband, father, friend, and lover of fun. That's who I am first. But what I do is I'm the founder of the Speakers, Authors, and Coaches Network, the #1 community for new, aspiring, and experienced speakers, authors, and coaches. And we do all sorts of things in there, but mostly we create connections and provide value for these new, aspiring, and experienced speakers, authors, and coaches.
I love it. And I love that group too. Shout out to your group. Been in there many, many times. I think I was in there from the beginning. Love it. Get in there if you're not in there.
I think you were towards the beginning. Yeah.
Question number 2. What's the best thing, Jake, about being in business?
To me, the best thing about being in business is freedom. And I have to be clear about what freedom means. Freedom doesn't mean that you are not working. Freedom means is that you are choosing to work. I would rather work in a way that I am choosing to do, even for more hours, than being coerced or forced into doing it. And so for me, it's all about freedom, and it's about the freedom to be able to zig and zag. I will take periods of time where I will be working so that I can take periods of time where we can take a vacation middle of the week, where we can go places where, hey, things are a lot less crowded on a Wednesday than they are on a Saturday. And I can do that as a business owner. And I think that to me is the best thing, is the ability to have, put it this way, design my work life around my personal life, rather than designing my personal life around my work life like so many people do.
Absolutely love it. And I also saw probably that vision of Disney in your mind on Wednesdays rather than on Saturdays. Love it.
It is better on a Wednesday than it is on a Saturday.
I followed that whole thought process, man. I absolutely love it. Question number 3. We hear from other business owners, Jake, that they're getting so much business that the chaos sometimes is causing overwhelm. Tell me your thoughts on that.
Yeah, if the chaos is causing overwhelm, you're probably spread too thin. Most of the time, sometimes it can be as simple as maybe it's time for you to expand with staff and those kind of things. But I find most of the time it's spread too thin with lack of focus. And most of the time when I find myself overwhelmed, it is because I am looking at things that I'm doing things that aren't really necessary. That's the biggest thing. Second thing would also be, am I emotionally overwhelmed, or am I overwhelmed because of the time schedule? And if it's because of the time schedule, we can do things to fix that. We can eliminate things that aren't necessary. You can get new people, you can get staff, you can do all these different kinds of things. But sometimes people are overwhelmed and it has nothing to do with their time schedule. It has to do with where they're at emotionally and where they're at psychologically. So it's really important that we look at where you're finding your value. Sometimes people, they're chasing value and achievement, and they're always going to be overwhelmed because if they can't get to something, then that's going to cause that internal friction. So I know this is a short 9-minute podcast. We could talk about this for days, this idea of where the emotions are. But really success in anything, it's 80% psychology, 20% strategy. So a lot of the overwhelm is actually what's going on up here rather than what's actually in front of them.
Love it. I couldn't agree more. I absolutely love it. Thank you, Jake. And you're already dropping value. I know that's one of the biggest things that is closest to your heart. So thank you. Question number 4. What other successful business owners like yourself, Jake, should be on the Unlimited Wisdom podcast?
What I'm going to highlight is a couple people who are a part of my personal support team, people that I rely on a regular basis that help me with my business. And it's some people that I truly appreciate. Preston Pugmire is a fantastic coach. He has a podcast called Next Level Life. I'm speaking at one of his events this coming Saturday. He's just absolutely awesome. Another one is Tony Watley, a mutual friend of ours. Really, really great. Another person I rely on a lot in my own personal life is a speaker and coach and Facebook Live expert, Michelle Soro. She spoke at my event a couple weeks back. Absolutely incredible. And also want to highlight Leah Woodford, who is a great, she has an incredible group, Smart Femme Network, puts on a great event coming up next month. I'm going to be speaking at that as well. And those are all people doing really, really great things.
Love it. I love it. I love all those names. Have seen them, connected with a few of those. So thank you for that, Jake. And I appreciate that. Question number 5. Let's get to the crux of this. What piece of wisdom would you share with other business owners?
It's easier. And well, let me rephrase this. It is more simple than you think it is. It is much more simple than you think it is. Whatever you're doing right now, you are overcomplicating it. Decide what you want, create a plan to get there, and then just do it. Like it's really that simple. And when it comes down to it, that plan, it doesn't need to be a perfect plan. Just start, perfect the plan as it goes. Decide what you want, make a plan, go take action, make it happen, adjust along the way, and you're going to get there.
I love it. Simplicity is brilliant, man. I absolutely love that. It's the first person that's talked about simplicity on this podcast yet, and I couldn't love that more. Jake, let's switch gears.
I'm really the first one who said simplicity.
So far.
Sounds like they're all overthinking it.
I love it. Focus on the good, man.
Yeah.
I love it. Let's switch gears for a quick second. What's the most fun vacation you ever had? I think I know, but I could be wrong.
Well, that's an interesting question. There's a lot of really fun vacations. Okay, I'll say two different things that are completely opposite. One of my most fun vacations ever, most people wouldn't call it a vacation, was a 50-mile backpacking trip in Yosemite National Park. And that was just an absolute blast. Amazing. I've done that a couple times in my life, planning some things like that this coming summer as well. But this one particular 50-mile backpacking trip, I think I was like 18 at the time, and it was just a blast. It was so cool. And then the next one was our trip to Disney World, which was just an amazing experience. Just a really cool experience. Been there a couple times, but the first time I went there, me and my wife, just the two of us going together, was an incredible experience. And to put that to a business perspective, the thing that Disney does is their quality is just unbelievable. And they put the customer first. Like they provide so much value and so much quality. People talk about how expensive it is. However, if you were to itemize everything that you're doing there, I mean, it's 10x what you're paying for is really what it comes down to. And it's such a great, I try to think about that. I try to think about innovation. I try to think about the amount of support that they give to their people, the amount of value that they give to their people. And yes, I had a blast there and I have a ton of fun, but the reason I like going to Disney parks more than an adult should is what it represents to me. And anyway, love doing that. That was a great vacation.
I love it. I knew Disney would come up.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jake. Thanks for being on. I appreciate you, man. You've been a dear friend for quite some time now. So
Yep.
What's the website? So people, when they see this and they want to, because I know they will, connect with you, what's the best way to connect with you?
The best way to connect with me, if you're not already a member, is come and join the Speakers, Authors, and Coaches Network Facebook group. So just search that in the search bar, Speakers, Authors, Coaches, and that will pop up. Or you can go to facebook.com/groups/speaker, author, coach. That's the best way to get connected with me. Come and join us there.
Link down below.
Sounds good.
Thank you. This is Brad A. Milford with the Unlimited Business Wisdom Podcast, where business owners making 5-6 figures or more share their wisdom globally. Thanks for joining us.